Y'all okay? That's a great program they have there. That's a great program they have there. Can't believe some of y'all are making fun of that. They said one of those people was the valedictorian last year. You know Huffer Billy Paul that's in the comment section sometimes? He's a graduate of that program at Clemson. How's everybody doing? Welcome to week 1 of the 2024 college football season. The kickoff show, we're going to get you set for all the day's games. If you're new around here, I appreciate you tuning in this morning. We have a really good time on this Saturday morning show. We go through the rundown of the day's games. We'll figure out, what time all the great games are coming on, what channel they're coming on, so we know what to watch and when to watch it. We'll talk about what we're eating today, which is honestly one of my favorite parts of the Saturday morning show. I have like my staples that I like, my go-to game day food, but a lot of the stuff I've been eating over the last couple of years is ideas and things like that I've gotten from you guys in the comment section when we get to talking about the food and y'all tell me what y'all are eating. I'm like, damn, that would be good. So we'll see what we're eating today here in a little bit. Of course, we'll talk about the best games today. We'll make some picks on the games. Any last-minute news involving the games. Of course, it looks like Trevor Etienne is out today. I think most people kind of knew that was going to be the case. Kirby just doesn't like to announce that kind of thing, usually until after the game. Why didn't such and such play? Well, it's an internal issue, blah, 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 blah. There was a wide receiver. Who was it? Was it Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint last year? Georgia shows up to play a game. Nobody knew anything. Georgia shows up to play a game. No Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint. I believe it was last year, and I believe that's the right player. Anyway, just nowhere to be seen. So of course, after the game, the first question is, hey, what is this, some kind of an injury or what's up with Marcus? And it turns out he did something and, served a suspension. So Kirby acts like everything's a government nuclear secret. But I think most people knew Etienne was going to be out today. It looks like that is the case, which isn't great news. And compound that with the fact that Georgia is also without Roderick Robinson. So that's 2 of Georgia's top 4 running backs maybe out for today. Leaves us with Branson Robinson, who's been good when he's played, but he's coming off of an injury. It's been a couple of years since he played. True freshman Nate Frazier expected to see some action today. Maybe walk-on Cash Jones, who was sort of forced into some action last year due to some running back injuries and played well when he played, but he's the 5th string walk-on for a reason. He's very undersized, but he played well last year. We'll see if he gets in today. Dwight Phillips, another young running back that maybe we see a little bit today. So the running back situation a little bit up in the air for UGA. The line on the game has come down a little bit this morning. It was at 13.5 at the beginning of the week. Went down to 13, down to 12.5. And when I was looking this morning, there was a few places you could find it at minus 12. So we'll talk about the Georgia-Clemson game and all of the other big games today. Best bets, food, rigged wheel, and celebrity guest pickers. So appreciate everybody tuning in here on the Saturday morning college kickoff show. Hey, y'all do me a favor. There's a couple of guys that have been watching the show for a while. And a lot of y'all ask me about a podcast a lot of times. I don't do the podcast deal. I wouldn't even know how to or whatever. But there's a couple of guys who've been watching the show for a while. And they do have a podcast. And it's slanted towards the betting side of things. So especially if you're interested in gambling or betting on college football, you might want to check them out. PB_betting over on Twitter. So just go to Twitter, PB_betting over on Twitter. They're good guys. Like I said, they've been around here for a long, long time. They do a weekly college football podcast. Now, they have a YouTube channel too, but if you just go to their Twitter page, PB_betting, everything they do is posted on their Twitter account. So through their Twitter account, you can get to the podcast, the YouTube channel, all that kind of thing. So check them out, PB_betting. /betting. They release free picks every Thursday. They track all their picks too. They're not these people. Some of y'all, if you follow any like gambling accounts on Twitter or any type of social media, really, people love to post their winnings, but they don't post their losses. You know, so you never really know. Like a guy can come on and say, "Oh, I got these 3 games right yesterday." Well, that's amazing, but what if he picked 10 games and went 3-7? And so they don't ever tell you that. These people track all their bets week to week, and they're honest and upfront. They'll tell you, you know, we had a bad week last week. We went 2-6 or whatever it is, or we had a great week last week. We went 5-1, whatever it is. So if you're interested in sort of the betting angle side of things, which we do a lot of that here, check them out. PB_/betting, a Twitter account, podcast. There's a YouTube channel. All of their picks are free and public, so you can track them right along with them. And again, they post their picks for you to see, so you know if they win or lose. So check them out, PB_/betting over on Twitter. There you go. All right, let's see who's here and hanging out today. And let's see who's here and hanging out. We'll take roll, and then we'll start talking some college football here. RB Smata, Todd Webb, Heather Tiller. Deion Sanders is here. Well, he ain't got nothing else to do. We know he's not busy coaching. He doesn't coach. Snake Spence, Bulldog JC, K-Dog, John Stoops, Sir UGA, Stingray, G-Man, Pastor Dave, what's up, buddy? Hogman, what's up, buddy? Jarvis S, Aggie Man, Ricky Bobby. I love the number of accounts we have that end in the word man. I wish we had a something man for every team. You know, I wish we had like Florida man, Miami man, Clemson man, Ohio State man. We've got quite a few, though. Trevor Hen, good to see you in here. AC Burson, Super Denny Gumper, Brian Korth, Spencer. Is that Jarrett just spelled in a weird way? It almost looks French. I gotta take my glasses off and get a better look at that. Is that Jarrett Milton or is that Jarret? I don't know. Maybe you're French. Listen, French people do exist. Jarret. I don't know what my fascination is with names and the way people spell them, but it's a sickness that I have. Jarret, right? Am I seeing that right? Yeah. Or is it Mitten? Or is it Maton? I think it's Maton. Let me type this out for those of you that don't see his name. So this is his name. I'm not making fun of you, buddy. I don't hope you're not mad. It's just I have a sick fascination with misspelled names, and clearly you have a misspelled name. So his name is spelled like that. Do y'all see that there? Now, if he was born in, East Teboga, Alabama, or whatever down here, his name is Jarrett Mitten. And maybe it's as simple as that. But it's possible this guy is French and his name is Jarret Mitten. I think it's Jarret Mitten. So shout out to Uncle Lou's international audience tuned in live from France. Shout out to Jarret Mitten. It's good to see you in here. It's good to see you in here, especially since it's like 3 p.m. over there. Yeah, Jarret Mitten. Yeah, Pampan qu'est-ce qu'il a? C'est Polichinelle Mamzella. Yeah, it's true. Pampan qu'est-ce qu'il a? C'est Polichinelle Mamzella. Jarret Mitten. Sounds like one of the Three Musketeers. The best Three Musketeer was D'Artagnan. D'Artagnan. That was the best of the Three Musketeers. D'Artagnan. If there was a fourth Musketeer, which I know there's not. There's the three. I know there's three. It's like there's three Stooges. But if there was 4 Musketeers, the fourth one would be Jarret Mitten. I hope I didn't run that guy off. Okay, I still see you in here. All right. Yeah, I'm just messing with. If you've been around here a while, you know my sick infatuation with people's names. So I hope you're not upset. Hope you're being a good sport about it. All right. Appreciate everybody. Great day of games today. Look, we've already had 2 days of games, Thursday and Friday. Nothing great yesterday. We got to see a couple of things. Jackson Arnold at Oklahoma. Wisconsin driving the struggle bus against Western Michigan. So we had a couple of things to sort of watch and keep an eye on yesterday. I watched some of about 2 or 3 different games yesterday. The only game I had bet on yesterday was the Wisconsin-Western Michigan game under 56. And, of course, it ended way under the 56, so that was easy money for the Pay-Lou movement. I thought Jackson Arnold played okay. Right? I mean, we saw him play in the bowl game, and he looked absolutely pitiful. He looked inept. He looked like he'd never seen a football before. Now he was playing a legitimate team in Arizona, whereas yesterday he was playing some middle school girls softball team named Temple. And I've seen the Oklahoma fans. I've seen y'all in the comments talking about, Oklahoma's defense is back. They won. What was the score? Whatever it was, 50-something to 3. Listen. Oklahoma's been doing this in week 1 games against nobodies since the beginning of time. All right? Lincoln Riley did it, and Brent Venables has been doing it. And then they start playing legitimate teams, and then they give up 25, 30 points a game. That's. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen again this year, but holding Temple to 3 points is not the proof that Oklahoma man thinks it is. Last year, Oklahoma beat Arkansas State 70-0 in week 1. And then they gave up 40 points to everybody else they played with a heartbeat the rest of the year and lost to teams like Kansas and shit because they couldn't stop a nosebleed. So Oklahoma's defense may be improved. It may be good this year, but it's not because of anything we saw yesterday. Oklahoma's been doing that in week 1 games to nobody teams forever. And then legitimate teams come into Norman and score 30 points, or they go on the road and give up 45. That's what they've been doing forever. So let's pump the brakes a little bit on Oklahoma having the best defense on the planet because they won a week 1 game against a nobody 70-0. They've been doing that in week 1 for as long as anybody can remember. Justin Blair, thank you for hitting the super chat at the start of the show to help support the channel, buddy. I really appreciate that. He said, George ain't played nobody. Now that's finally true. That's fine. That might be the first time anybody's ever typed that where it's actually true. Holy shit. You know what? You're right. You're right. Good to see you in here this morning, Justin. Is that Harry Potter? No, I'm sorry. Henry Porter. That's like those memes where they'll put, it'll show a sideline of a football team and it'll go, Connor Stallions might have been suspended, but it looks like Michigan has hired Connell Scallion or whatever, and it's the same thing. Henry Porter, not Harry Potter. That's not Harry Potter. That's not Harry Potter. It's Henry Porter. Get it right. The 2-time. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. Good to see you in here. Thank you for helping to support the channel this morning. Steven Snyder, thank you for the super chat. He says, #keep Clemson fans dry. One little note here. When you're doing a hashtag, there's no spaces there. And I get what you're saying. It's #keep Clemson fans dry, but just a just a grammatical note there on the hashtags. You type out the whole phrase with no spaces. But yeah, these Clemson fans on TigerNet with an entire week's long discussion about how the weather might affect the game today between Georgia and Clemson. Which, of course, is being played in a dome. But I'm telling you, the people over on TigerNet ain't all there. And it's not just TigerNet. It's every team message board is the same way. Just so happens we're playing Clemson this week, and a bunch of people tagged me in this TigerNet deal. But I promise you, all the team sites are that stupid. All the team message boards are that retarded. They are. The Georgia one, the LSU, any of them you go to. They're all the same. They're all 70-year-old people who sit around all day telling stories about the 70s and 80s and how good it was then. And they all think they know something that no one else knows. They all think they're some insider. Like, it's all it is. That's literally all it is. Yeah. Isn't it muted? Isn't what muted? Do you want to be muted? Let me know. Yep. So, but thank you, Steven Snyder. Trace Lothar of the Hill people. Thank you. He says, good morning, Lou, and go Dogs. Yeah, go Dogs. It'll be a good game today. Joey Foster says, let's go Mountaineers. What's up, Joey? I think that's going to be a good game, too. I think Penn State will win, but I'm not betting on that game. Well, at least I'm not betting a side. I'm not taking Penn State minus the points, and I'm not taking West Virginia plus the points. I may be able to find something on the over-under that I like or something maybe, or some other type of bet, but I think that's going to be a good game. And I could see a scenario where Penn State goes in and, wins by 14. I can also see a scenario where the home environment maybe rattles Drew Aller and Garrett Green goes nuts at the quarterback for West Virginia, and West Virginia wins the game. I really don't have a read on that game outside of I think Penn State will win, but I'm not putting any money on that one. I think I have a bet with you, Joey, but I'm not making a real bet on the game. Deion Sanders, thank you for the super chat. He says, Corso just picked his top 4 to playoffs, had Notre Dame at 4, must be watching Ballard. Good Lord. Did he really? Did they have a graphic on the screen to go with it? The reason I ask is, they have production meetings and all kinds of shit leading up to these shows. And so that they have graphics ready to put on the screen for certain things that people are going to say. Why didn't somebody at ESPN, somebody in the back room, somebody in the truck, somebody in the meeting room, somebody somewhere go, hey, whoa. Notre Dame can't be a 4 seed. They're not somebody at ESPN should have caught that mistake ahead of time. Instead, Lee Corso's out here embarrassing himself again. Look, I've said this before. I love Lee Corso to death. I grew up watching College Game Day every Saturday morning. I love Lee Corso. And I want him to stay on College Game Day for as long as he wants to. But he only needs to be on game day at the very end when they're making their picks. It's not his fault. I love Lee Corso, but he brings nothing to the show from an analytical point of view, from a discussing games point of view, nothing. He's a legend. He built College Game Day, and I think he deserves to stay on as long as he wants with the helmet pick thing at the end. But he shouldn't be on the first 2 hours of College Game Day. He provides absolutely nothing. Kirk Herbstreit has to finish his sentences half the time. I don't like seeing people sort of tail off publicly like that. And again, I'm not shit talking Lee. I absolutely love Lee Corso. I know everybody pretends to hate ESPN right now, but ESPN, College Game Day, and Lee Corso had a lot to do with the huge rise in popularity of college football in the 90s and 2000s. Like, they were college football. I think he's a college football icon. But he brings nothing to a show like Game Day in the first 2 hours. I wish they would just save him for the last 30 minutes of the show every week and let him do his picks and his headgear thing. And this is just another example of that. Now, to be fair, I am watching College Game Day, but it's on mute, and so I can only read the closed captionings, and I didn't see the segment that y'all are referring to. But if what you're saying is true, that they did a segment where they were predicting playoff seeding, and Corso had Notre Dame at 4, that's somebody at ESPN should be fired for that, because somebody should have raised their hand and said, oh, wait a minute, Notre Dame can't be. But anyway, let's move on from that. Charles Hippie, thank you for the super chat. He says, Kentucky fan here. Clemson had to struggle to beat us in the bowl game last year, and we had a mediocre team last season. Yeah, 38-35, massive comeback by Clemson to win the game. Clemson gave up 8 sacks in that game to Kentucky. So maybe a little bit of foreshadowing of what they might be in store for today. Super Denny Gumper, thank you for the super chat. Is Deion going to take the FSU route and sue all the journalists that hurt his feelings? Well, he's not going to sue them. He's just going to ban them all. Eventually, Deion Sanders is going to be giving post-game press conferences to an empty fucking room. Sven, what's up, buddy? He says, we upset Eastern Kentucky today. Just wait. He's a Mississippi State fan. Y'all should beat them, Sven. Captain Tripp says, I predict Clemson does their lap around the stadium in their bus, and at the last second, Dabo tells the driver to head to the nearest exit back home. That would make sense for them to do that, but I don't think they will. They're gluttons for punishment, and so they're going to show up and take their beating today. Spencer, thank you for the super chat. He says, the only thing Oklahoma's performance against Temple told us is that they were better than Temple and Florida State. Yeah. Brock Morris says, according to On3, ETN is suspended today. Yeah. That's been, I mean, I think everybody kind of knew that was what was going to happen, but Kirby just doesn't announce those kinds of things. So you have to wait until the team shows up at the stadium, and then you go, oh, ETN's not here. Okay. But that's not that big of a surprise. Not that big of a surprise. All right, let's put the schedule of games up on the screen. We're going to go through it. We got the celebrity guest caller at 10 o'clock today. So let's see what time it is now. Right now, it is 9:22. It's 9:22. So 10 o'clock, we have a celebrity guest picker coming on to help us pick some of these games today. But first, we're going to go through the schedule of games. Reminder, rigged wheel. All right, so the guest picker comes on at 10. He'll be on for 10 or so minutes, 10 or 15 minutes. And then that's basically the end of the show. So if you want to get your name on the rigged wheel, you've got till about 10:15 to get your name on the rigged wheel. I'll add everybody's name to the wheel at the end. Cash App, PayPal is what gets you on the rigged wheel. I can't use super chats for cash giveaways. Okay. So it's got to be the super chat or the PayPal. Now the links to the Cash App and the PayPal, almost said Super Pal. The links to the Cash App and the PayPal are in the description of the video. So make sure you use one of those links if you want to get your name on the rigged wheel. I'll post the links in the comments section there. Carolina Jackpot was the first one again today to get his name on the wheel. He texted me a couple hours ago, or Cash Apped a couple hours ago to get his pick in. So if you don't know what the rigged wheel is, it's literally a wheel with a bunch of names on it. Everybody that sends in the Cash App or the PayPal, we put your name on it. At the end of the show, we spin the wheel. It picks a name. Whatever name gets picked, you automatically get your money back, and you get to pick a game today. And if you pick that game right, you get twice your money back. So in other words, if you send $10 to the PayPal and the wheel picks your name, I'm going to send you the $10 back. You also get to pick a game today. If you get that game right, instead of sending you $10 back, I'd send you $20 back. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. All right, let's take a look at today's schedule of games and see what Gurren earned. Let's see what Gurren earned here. Any Florida State fans in here that want to take a look at last weekend's games before we move on to this weekend's games? No? Okay. All right. Brief recap of the Thursday night games here. I'm just going to go through this real quick and give you a little bit of thoughts. Where did it go? NCAA football. Well, I don't know what happened now. Here, schedule. All right, now can I make it bigger, or is it going to screw up again? All right, here we go. Missouri looked good, but it was against Murray State. But, I guess they did what you're supposed to do. They beat them 51-0. Utah, Cam Rising looked good. Good to see him play after being out for all of last year. He's one of my favorite players in college football. He's not the most talented person in the world. He reminds me a lot of Max Duggan at TCU a couple of years ago. You feel like if it's 3rd and 4, he's going to get you 5 yards every single time. He's just, I don't know. I just like watching him play, so it's good to see him back. Utah looked good. Kansas all over Lindenwood. I don't know what Lindenwood. It sounds like a nervous. I think Lindenwood. You'd seen the movie Sling Blade. And in the very beginning, he's locked up in the nervous hospital, and they let him out or whatever. I think Lindenwood was the name of that nervous hospital that Sling Blade was in, but Kansas beat them 48-3. NC State avoided disaster. Now, you might look at this score, 38-21, and go, well, not great, but they handled business. They were lucky to win this game. They looked like absolute shit for about 2.5 quarters in this game. Western Carolina outplayed them. It wasn't even close in the first half. NC State did not look good. If you're an NC State fan, you better hope and pray that NC State got caught somehow looking ahead to next week's game against Tennessee, because if they show up, and we haven't even seen Tennessee play, I can tell you right now they're not going to look as bad like NC State did today. That's not going to happen to Tennessee today. So if NC State comes out next week against Tennessee and looks anything like what they looked like the other day, they're going to get boat raced by 10. They're going to get embarrassed. So I don't know what happened, what went on. They got a week to get it fixed, because Tennessee ain't fucking around. They'll come in there and beat the shit out of NC State if they show up like they did a couple of days ago. Rutgers beat Howard, no surprise there. Wake Forest would have won. Central Florida with a big win over New Hampshire, 57-3. These were a lot of just dud games here. Of course, the Colorado game, we all watched that. Jacksonville State and Coastal Carolina. This was a big upset here, because Jacksonville State was a 3-point favorite and lost by almost 20. What is that, 18? They were favored by 3 and lost by 18. Not good for Jack State. UAB with a big win. Tulane with a big win. Boy, did y'all watch any of the North Carolina-Minnesota game? Holy shit, was that a boring fucking game. North Carolina's quarterback got hurt early in the game. I hate to see this. Max Johnson, I think he was at Texas A&M for a while. Now he's at North Carolina. He's supposed to be Drake May's replacement. And it looks like he might be out for a while, maybe the season. It was a knee injury, I think. And this was just a boring game here. But North Carolina does get the win, 19-17. Neither team looked particularly good in that one. Last night, talked a little bit about it. Oklahoma, Jackson Arnold played well. Oklahoma ran the ball pretty well, and they shut out Temple, except for a field goal, 51-3. Is this proof that Oklahoma's defense is finally going to be good for the first time in a decade? No. They've been doing this in week 1 games every year. Last year they beat Arkansas State 70-0 in week 1. They then went on to give up 30 points or more to every team they played with a pulse. So I'm not saying the defense will be bad, but this game isn't proof that it will be good. Their offensive line didn't look great yesterday either, if you watched the game. And before any Oklahoma fans start crying, I've seen Oklahoma fans on Twitter and in the Facebook groups crying about their own offensive line. So don't even tell me. I don't want to hear it. Michigan State was losing for a portion of this game, but they ended up winning late. They didn't look good either. First-year head coach there, Jonathan Smith. I do think he will improve Michigan State, but much like Texas A&M, I think it'll take a year, a couple of years. Duke started slow, beats Elon 26-3. I didn't think Malik Murphy looked great, especially in the first half. Played a little bit better in the second half. Wisconsin didn't look great either. They were tied with Western Michigan late in this game. Losing. I think they were losing at one point. Anyway, they ended up getting the win, but Tyler Van Dyke, boy, I don't know what happened to him. Was it 2 seasons ago? The last 5 games of the year, 2 seasons ago, he looked like one of the best quarterbacks in the country. 3 seasons ago, I think, actually. Then he got hurt, and then he got benched at Miami, and now he's at Wisconsin. Hey, boy, he's not good. TCU and Stanford ended up being a decent game. TCU gets the win 34-27. That tells me that TCU is probably not that good, because I think Stanford is one of the worst Power 5 teams on the planet. All right, here we go. Let's move on to today's games. All right. Early games, which I will be streaming over on Patreon. We hold the vote on the Patreon page every week. Everybody, all the members of the Patreon vote every week on what time slot they want me to stream on Patreon. And it was overwhelming this week, the noon time slot, which isn't surprising because there's basically 4 big games today, and 2 of them are on at noon, so I wasn't surprised. Georgia, Clemson, Penn State, West Virginia, both of those games come on at noon. So I'll post the link over on my Patreon page around 11:45, 11:50. Those of you who have been on the Patreon page for a while know how this works, but you just go to my Patreon page, which the link is in the description of this video. It's in the description of almost every video or live stream I do. But you just click the link to the Patreon page and it'll take you over to the Patreon page. A link will be posted around 11:45 or 11:50. You just click that link and it takes you to the live stream, and we'll hang out and watch all the noon games. Clemson on the road at Georgia. The line's down to about 11.5, 12, 12.5, depending on where you look. Started at 13.5. Looks like ETN's not playing. I think Clemson offensively may end up being better this year than they were last year. Year 2, Cade Klubnik. They've got some healthy wide receivers they didn't have last year, but I still think their offensive line is a major weak point. I still think Cade Klubnik is not a great quarterback, and even if he improves a little bit from year 1 to year 2, I don't think he's going to be great. I just don't think he'll ever be great. He just played bad last year. And even if Clemson's offense ends up being a little bit better this year than it was last year, I think it's something that will sort of develop over time this season. This is just a tough matchup, it seems like to me, for Clemson offensively, with a lot of things that are new. You know, Shipley's gone. Now Moffa's the number 1 running back. Most of their wide receivers that they're going to play today didn't play last year. The offensive line is still bad. They've got a new offensive line coach. It seems like a bad matchup offensively for Clemson against Georgia's defense. Clemson on defense, great front 7, pretty good safeties, couple of questions at corner. I think Georgia will be able to throw the ball on Clemson. Georgia's got a great offensive line. Clemson's got a great defensive front. I think that'll be the best sort of game within the game, will be Georgia's offensive line and how well it holds up against Clemson's front. I think Clemson will win some of those battles. But I think Georgia wins enough of them to win the game. I think Carson Beck will have a big day throwing the ball. The running back situation at Georgia's not going to just abandon the run game. Just because ETN's out and one of the Robinson kids is out, they're not going to abandon the run game. They're going to run the ball. Even if they can't run the ball, they're going to run it anyway. You know, even if they're getting 2 yards a carry, they're still going to run it. They're not going to do like Colorado and abandon the run. And I think Georgia wins the game. Will they cover? I bet Georgia a week ago at 13.5. I'd obviously much rather have them now at 11.5, but I locked it in. I'm on Georgia minus 13.5, so we'll see. Penn State at West Virginia. This game's not getting talked about nearly enough, and I understand why. You've got 3 huge games today, and this game is slightly below that. Unless you're a Penn State or a West Virginia game, of course, then it's the biggest game of the week. But Penn State, there's a lot of pressure on Penn State this year. No more divisions in the Big Ten. They don't have to play Michigan, and they get Ohio State at home. If they don't make the playoffs this year, all of the excuses for James Franklin are out the window, including excuses I've been making for James Franklin. He has to find a way to get the job done this year. They got a returning quarterback. They got one of the best running backs in the Big Ten. They got one of the best defenses in the Big Ten. They've got one of the best defensive players in the Big Ten. They picked up a wide receiver out of the portal that I think can be big for them. And they are way, way, way more talented than West Virginia. Now, West Virginia's got the home crowd. Morgantown, it's a tough place to play. Garrett Green is the best quarterback in America that nobody talks about. And if he gets hot, West Virginia can upset Penn State at home. And that is going to be devastating for Penn State, because if Penn State loses this game, I don't know that they make the playoffs. I know this is a non-con game, but I don't think Penn State's good enough to win the Big Ten and get an automatic bid. So they have to rely on an at-large bid, which means they're going to have to be probably 10-2. And if they lose this one, it's going to be tough for them to run the rest of the way at 10-1 or whatever they would have to do to get to 10-2. It feels like a lot of pressure on Penn State in this game. I'm not betting that game for that reason. Illinois State at Iowa. This is an interesting one here. Iowa's got a brand new offense, brand new offensive coordinator, right? The defense we know is going to be good. The over-under is at 40 points. Now, last year, you blindly bet the under. You wouldn't even have had to pay attention. Just every Iowa game, you bet the under, and I think it hit 10 out of 12 games. How much improvement are we going to see offensively from Iowa? Is it going to be enough against a bad Illinois State team for the total to go over 40? You see Iowa's favored by 23.5 with a total of 40. So that means they're expecting the score to be, what, something like 33-7? Can they score in the 30s? I don't know. I'm not going to touch that game because of the new offense for Iowa. Virginia Tech at Vandy is another sneaky good game today at noon. Virginia Tech is about a 2-touchdown favorite, depending on where you look, 13.5 here. But I'm high on Virginia Tech, so I'm taking Virginia Tech to win and cover. But a lot of people I watch and listen to are on Vanderbilt plus the points. So is it possible I'm wrong? Yeah, but I'm high on Virginia Tech. There's not much of a home field advantage at Vandy, if any at all. This isn't some sort of intimidating environment that Virginia Tech is walking into here. I think Virginia Tech blows them out. So I'm on Virginia Tech minus the points in that one. UConn at Maryland, a nothing game really. Some talk about UConn possibly joining the Big 12. Austin Peay at Louisville. Indiana State at Purdue. Kent State at Pitt. Nico plays at 12:45. Tennessee hosts Chattanooga. Tennessee fans will watch that game. Nobody else will. Oh, be prepared too. I'm just telling you, be prepared. By halftime of this game, you're going to see Tennessee fans all over the internet talking about 100-0 and Nico winning the Heisman. I'm just telling you now. Be prepared. It's coming. South Dakota State at Oklahoma State. This is a Colorado versus North Dakota State situation here. South Dakota State is a really, really good FCS team. Didn't they win the national championship last year? FCS? And Oklahoma State's only a 10-point favorite. I'm taking Oklahoma State. You know what Oklahoma State has that Colorado doesn't? An amazing offensive line. All 5 of their starting offensive linemen are 6th-year seniors, and they've got the best running back in the country in Ollie Gordon. I think Oklahoma State wins and covers at home over a decent FCS team, South Dakota State. Of course, I thought Colorado would cover, and I was wrong, so take that with a grain of salt if you need to. Ohio State plays Akron at 3:30, so first look at Will Howard, new Ohio State quarterback. Jeremiah Smith expected to play a lot today. They should blow Akron out. Texas plays Colorado State, a nothing game there. And then the big one at 3:30 coming up this afternoon in the afternoon slot, Miami on the road in the swamp at Gainesville against the Florida Gators. 2.5-point favorite, Miami is. I think they're a much better team than Florida. They got to find a way to win this game. A lot of pressure on both teams to win this one. Florida needs to win in-state recruiting situations. The back half of their schedule is brutal. They need as many wins in the first half of the schedule as they can possibly get, right? And for Miami, they've got aspirations above and beyond this game, right? They think they can win the ACC and potentially make the playoffs. If you can't beat Florida, it's hard to look yourself in the mirror and convince yourself that you're a playoff team if you can't beat Florida. So we'll see. FIU at Indiana, UTEP at Nebraska, so for Dylan Raiola. I'll probably watch a little bit of this game. Nebraska plays Colorado next week, which will be a great game. So I'll probably watch a little bit of this Nebraska game to see how Dylan Raiola looks. Nebraska had the worst quarterback situation on the planet last year. It was horrific. And they turned the ball over 3 or 4 times against Colorado and ended up losing. I definitely think Nebraska can beat Colorado, but I want to see what they look like today with Dylan Raiola. What else do we have? Iowa State hosting North Dakota. Boy, a lot of garbage games today, but you get that. Old Dominion at South Carolina. This is another popular upset pick. I've seen some people picking Old Dominion in this game. I don't know. South Carolina's a 21-point favorite. I don't know that I would lay the points and take Carolina there. I'm probably just not going to bet that game. You know, Old Dominion has a couple of Power 5 wins over Virginia and Virginia Tech. I don't think they get to. I don't think they can beat South Carolina, but I probably won't bet that one though, as far as the point spread goes. Mississippi State at home against Eastern Kentucky. Shout out to Sven Kreuzberg in that. Western Kentucky at Alabama. The debut of Kalen DeBoer as head coach at Alabama should be a blowout win for the Gumps. We'll see what type of offense they want to run, right? They're going to let Milrose sling it around like they did Michael Penix? Or is it going to be more of a run-heavy team, which I think probably better suits what Alabama has personnel-wise this year? Ole Miss at home against Furman, 50-0 type deal there. Kansas State, I like Kansas State this year. This game comes on ESPN Plus, so not on traditional TV. But I like Kansas State. I like their quarterback too, Avery Johnson. Is that his name? I like Kansas State this year. Idaho at Oregon. That's another name your score game there. The big game The big game tonight, of course, is Notre Dame and Texas A&M. What time is it? I got to keep an eye on the time. 9:41. Notre Dame on the road at Texas A&M. I feel like I've been talking about this game since February. Notre Dame better win this game, or their season is literally over. Not the your season is over point and laugh deal we do on Sundays. I mean, Notre Dame's not making the playoffs if they lose this game. They're just not. Because if you can't beat Texas A&M, you're not running the table. And if you lose to Texas A&M and you're not running the table, that means best case scenario, you're going to be sitting there at the end of the year at 10-2 with a loss to the 6th or 7th best SEC team. Well, that's bad news because you're going to have other SEC teams that are 10-2 or 9-3 that are better than Texas A&M. And I can't see the playoff committee going, okay, we'll take Notre Dame at 10-2 with a loss to the 8th best SEC team, Texas A&M, over a 10-2 or a 9-3 Tennessee that's the 3rd best team or 4th best team in the SEC. I don't see that happening. Notre Dame's got to win that game. All the pressure is on Notre Dame. This is game 1 for Mike Elko, right? It's a free roll. He's not going to get beat over the head if they lose this game. I know they want to win it, and they think they can win it, and they're actually favored to win it. But Notre Dame, this is a must-win game for Notre Dame. Rare or unusual to say that in week 1, but this feels like this is a must-win game for Notre Dame to me. Kentucky plays home against Southern Miss. SMU hosts Houston Christian. Boy, SMU looked bad last week. Disappointing. Arizona hosts New Mexico. Heisman candidate quarterback there, Noah Fafita. And Arizona State hosts Wyoming. Washington hosts Weber State. So there you go. That's the lineup of games, when they come on, channels, all that kind of thing. So we know what to watch and when we need to watch it. All right, it's time to talk about food. I can't put it off any longer because today's a big day for me on the food front. I'm really excited about it. We got more football to talk, I know, but I can't go any longer without talking about the food situation. So I've talked about this before, and a lot of y'all know what I'm talking about. They have these, I don't know what they are. They're not really restaurant. I guess, well, anyway, they have these places, and here's what they sell. Chicken wings, Chinese food, fish, and soul food. I don't know when this became a thing. It seems like an odd combination of menu items. But do you know these types of places that you can literally walk into this place and you can order, let me get a dozen wings, 2 fried catfish fillets, some collard greens, an egg roll, and pork fried rice. Do y'all know these places? The absolute best chicken wings on the planet. It's the best chicken wings you'll ever have. And the way I get them to do it, they've got all the traditional flavors that you would find at any wing place, right, that you can get. But here's what you got to get them to do. You order the lemon pepper wings, dry rub. You know they have a dry lemon pepper and a wet. You do the lemon pepper wet, ATL wings. Here it's called A-Town wings. That might be what you're talking about. But one of the places here that does that is called A-Town wings. Anyway, you order the lemon pepper wings, dry rub, tossed in buffalo sauce. So what they do is they cook the chicken wings as though they're just lemon pepper chicken wings. Dry rub, lemon pepper. They fry the chicken wings. After they take them out of the fryer, they roll them around in buffalo sauce. Holy shit. It's the best chicken wing you'll ever eat. It's unbelievable. So we're doing that today. I think we're going to do Tommy fries today. I mean, I'm blowing the load today. Chicken wings, lemon pepper chicken wings tossed in buffalo sauce. Tommy fries from T-Bones. I've got a vegetable tray in there, celery, carrots, ranch dressing. I've got chips and 2 dips. It's going to be a great day for me, football food-wise. All right. Now tell me what y'all are eating. Touchdown wings. Okay, what are y'all eating? Tommy fries are Lou's favorite. That's a fact. And this is going to be the first time I didn't eat them last weekend. I saved them for today. Yeah, my mouth is watering. I'm hungry now, just thinking about it. ETN not playing. Yeah. We've already talked about that. I love me some lemon pepper wings. Pulled pork and Brunswick stew. Maybe this is embarrassing. I don't even know what Brunswick stew is. I'm not going to lie. You're eating Whataburger? Fried chicken. Fried chicken is like, you can't go wrong. Fried chicken is a game day staple. Coast to coast. Can't go wrong there. Bacon wrapped jalapeno popper. Oh, we did that last week, Anthony. Yeah, those are really good too. Boneless chicken nugget wing. If you're talking about boneless wings, there's no such thing as boneless wings. There's no such thing. Those are you're eating chicken nuggets. If you tell me you're eating boneless wings, you're eating chicken nuggets. You're a child. Are they dinosaur shaped too? Huevos rancheros, sliders and spinach dip, burgers and turkey hot dog. Turkey hot dog. Man, come on, man. What are you doing? Delete that. I like starting off with a big breakfast. I'm talking everything. Then we do sliders and wings. Bison steaks. Street tacos at noon. That sounds good, too. Homemade sausage and cheese biscuits. That sounds good. Avocado. Delete that. Avocado toast. Delete that right now. Don't ever type that in here again. Go hang out with the guy that's eating chicken nuggets. Take your fucking avocado toast over to the guy's house that's got the chicken nuggets. Avocado toast. You better be trolling. Biscuits and gravy. God, I love biscuits and gravy. I love biscuits and gravy. Lou hates on avocado toast every time. Everybody hates on avocado toast. Avocado toast. Come on, man. Whiskey with a side of Gatorade Zero. Schnitzel, potato salad, and a cold beer. Yeah, schnitzel's good too. Schnitzel is a fried pork chop, for those of you that might not know. Did you ban wife savers? I didn't ban them, but they're still on my shit list for not being open on New Year's or whatever it was a couple of years ago. It still pisses me off. I still do go there every once in a while, though. They've got the best fried okra I've ever had at any restaurant, ever, period. Wife Saver does. Sharkzilla, thank you for the super chat. He says, not food related, but Oklahoma State has a tough road ahead. San Diego State has a 29-game winning streak to uphold. Listen, no FCS team has any business beating any FBS team. Never mind a Power 4 team. Never mind a Power 4 team that's projected to potentially win their conference. Never mind a Power 4 team that's ranked in the top 15. There is no excuse. There is no amount of pumping up South Dakota State that you can do that will make it acceptable for Oklahoma State to lose to them, period. Lizard Circus, what's up, buddy? Good to see you in here. Hope y'all are doing well. Ready to see Kalen DeBoer's debut tonight. Yep. Texas Dog 32 says, week one, woo. Just wanted to kick you some well-earned tokens of appreciation. Thanks for making Saturday football a solid experience. Go Dogs. Hey, I appreciate that, but I appreciate y'all helping to support the show. Tyler P says, hey, Lou, think dogs struggle but survive. Go Dogs. I don't know. Maybe it stays close for a while. I think Georgia wins by a couple of scores, though. 14, 17, 20 points, somewhere in that range there. To be great, you have to be obsessed. I had a new name to the GOAT list. Jordan, Tiger, Brady, and now Stallions. Pay Lou and have a great Saturday. Thank you, Mike. Be creepy. Dang. Clemson only real game is today, and it's a loss. Brock Morris says, according to On3, ETN is suspended. All right, we're caught up on the super chats. Let's see what time. 9:50. So we got 10 minutes until the celebrity guest picker calls in. So that's good. What is this? Yeah, we got 10 minutes till the celebrity guest picker calls in. I'm going to post the Cash App and the PayPal one more time because remember, as soon as we are done doing our picks, at 10 o'clock, the guest picker comes on. 10 or 15 minutes, we'll make some picks. As soon as that's over, we're doing the rigged wheel. So you got about 15 minutes to get your name up on the wheel, try to win yourself some money. Everybody that sends a Cash App or a PayPal, your name will get added to the wheel at the end of the show. We'll spin the wheel. Whichever name the wheel picks, you get to make a pick on any of today's games. If you get that pick right, I'll send you back twice what you sent me. If you get it wrong, I'll just send you your money back. Either way, you get your money back. If the wheel picks your name and you have a chance to double your money. But it's got to be through Cash App or PayPal. I can't do cash giveaways through Super Chat. And the links are in the description of the video, and I just posted them in the chat. Hendrick588 says, ready to spend another season with you, Lou? Go Vols. I appreciate, yeah. Look, I've had a great time. Last weekend, the Florida State Georgia Tech game, we had a great time. Thursday night with the Colorado game, unbelievable. We're going to do it again today, noon. It's on Patreon today at noon for all the early games. So Georgia, Clemson, Penn State, West Virginia, Virginia Tech, and Vandy. Those will probably be the three games I put on the three main TVs. If there's a fourth one on worth watching, we can put it over here or on the other one. But those are probably the three games we'll be paying attention to the most at noon. But yeah, we're going to have a great time. A great time. First Patreon stream of the 2024 season today at noon. So make sure you're over there for that. Happy fucking holiday, Lou. Time to get the Loud House the place to be. Go Fruit. ACC championship run starts today. Syracuse, man, winning the ACC, huh? Don't know about that. I do think you'll be better, but I don't know if you'll be that much better. I don't know that you'll be that much better. Joe Duck says, I had to say avocado toast and chicken nuggets because you make the best at jokes on them. What you think about betting on Oregon, Washington, Tennessee parlay? What, money line? I mean, I think all three of those teams are going to win. If you want to just parlay them on the money line, the payout's probably going to be really small because they're all huge favorites. Or are you talking about playing all of those against the spread? That's a different animal altogether. What do they think over at P&B underscore betting? Let's see. Yeah, y'all should go watch this. These guys know what they're talking about here. Y'all should go watch that. Yeah, y'all should go watch that. I think they put their picks up around 11 in the morning on Saturday. They'll tweet their picks out. But these people talk about nothing but the betting angles on the games, and they know what they're talking about too. Check them out, PB_/betting over on Twitter. They do a podcast, YouTube channel, the whole thing, but everything's linked over on their Twitter page, PB_/betting. So check them out. Millis on the cruise or we riot. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that, to be honest with you. What's the best bet of the day today? I mean, I'm taking Georgia because I feel like I have to. What about LSU and Southern Cal tomorrow? We didn't even talk about that one. LSU and Southern Cal tomorrow, Florida State, Boston College on Monday. I'm probably going to take Florida State on Monday. I think Florida State blows out Boston College at home. I know everybody's down on Florida State because they lost to Georgia Tech and all that. That's a good time to bet on somebody when everybody else is against them. Everybody's hating on Florida State. The line's been driven down 5 or 6 points. I like Florida State on Monday night. I'm less confident in the Sunday night pick, but I do like Southern Cal to pull the upset over LSU. LSU has lost 4 straight week 1 games, going all the way back to 2020. And I just trust Lincoln Riley more to replace a high-end QB than I do Brian Kelly. You know, I mean, I've seen Lincoln Riley replace elite QBs with another elite QB 4 or 5 times in a row now. I like Nussmeier, Jaden Daniels' replacement this year at LSU, but I've seen him play. He's not Jaden Daniels. He's not, you know, he can throw the ball, but he's not going to give you the sort of electric type of plays that you got from Jaden Daniels. So I feel like LSU offensively probably takes a step back this year, and I don't think they're great defensively either. So I think Southern Cal can pull the upset there in that one on Sunday. I don't know. I think it'll be a good game, though. I think it'll be a real good game. Oh, another one I like today, too, that we didn't talk about because it's kind of a nothing game, but I like James Madison to cover today. Who does James Madison – I can look it up, but does anybody remember? Let me just look it up here. James Madison. All right, here it is. James Madison. LSU, Notre Dame, Florida. James Madison plays Charlotte. That's who it is. James Madison plays Charlotte today. And I've got James Madison -7. I think they blow Charlotte out. I've got James Madison -7 today. I like that one, too. Yeah, I like that one, too. Let's see. I guess we can. Let's look at the latest numbers. Let's look at the latest numbers. The guest picker will be calling in a minute, and we'll go through the 3 or 4 biggest games of the day. But let's just look at the latest numbers here. Georgia and Clemson down to 11.5. So it's come down 2 points with the ETN news. So it was 13.5. ETN not playing. It's down to 11.5. I like Georgia. What a surprise, right? Georgia Tech, a 20-point favorite over Georgia State. I wouldn't touch that one. I mean, I don't think Georgia Tech's going to lose the game, but I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't bet on the spread there. South Carolina by 21 over Old Dominion. All right, it's guest picker time. Here we go. Yeah, good morning in that.
Yeah, happy game day in that.
Pigskin Pete, the Clemson man. I had to have you on today to do these picks. Now, me and you have talked a ton already about the Clemson-Georgia game. We did it pretty much half the show on Monday, so we don't even really have to get into the back and forth on all that again. We're just going to make some picks on 2 or 3 of the biggest games of the day because I was sitting around this morning and I was going, who's at least as big of a degenerate gambler as me, if not an even bigger degenerate gambler that I can get on to make some picks today? And really, you were the only name that popped into my head. So I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult. You can take it however you choose, but you were the only name I thought of.
I'll take it as a compliment. I am undefeated on my college football picks so far this season.
Yeah? Did you have any in yesterday's games?
No. I bet Georgia Tech last week, won that one. And then I had I'm technically undefeated because the second one was a push. I had North Carolina -2 and they won by 2. So I haven't lost any bets this year so far.
Yeah. I had Georgia Tech and hit that one. I had the under in the Georgia Tech game and hit, but I lost the Colorado bet. I had Colorado -10. And then last night I had Western Michigan, Wisconsin under 55, and it went way under. So whatever that is, 3-1. We'll start with the Georgia Clemson game. It's the first game of the day. It's the noon game, and the line has gone way down, 13.5 to 11.5. So I know you loved Clemson at 13.5. Does it change your mind at all, betting wise, that it's gone down to 11.5?
It does. I actually have 2 bets on this game. I've got one at 13 and one at 13.5. Clemson at 11 or 11.5. I mean, I love Clemson, but I love money more.
Right.
So I probably wouldn't. I'd probably either take Georgia or just wouldn't bet it.
Okay. And now you're the one that kind of got me going on these over-unders. I used to never bet over-unders. I would never even look at the over-unders. And you talk about them a lot. And last year I bet a few, and so far this year I've bet a few too. So maybe this might be the year I start betting over-unders more often. Anything on the over-under here at 48.5?
48.5. I probably would go under on that. I think these are 2 great defenses. We don't know what Clemson's offense is going to look like at all. So, I mean, they could score 7 points or they could score 20 points. I have no idea. So the unknown factor there is I'd probably take the under. I'm not going to bet the over-under at all just for that reason alone. Is we don't know what Clemson's offense is going to look like.
Yeah, it does seem like a lot of reasons to take the under. I mean, Georgia, their two best weapons last year are off to the NFL. So how well do they do replacing those? They're without their top two running backs. Both teams have really good defenses. Clemson was not great offensively last year. Like, there's a lot of reason. I can't think of any reason to take the over. It seems to me like you either have to take the under or not bet it if you don't want it. But the last two times these teams played, they scored 13. Now, I don't expect that to happen again, but there's a lot of room between 13 and 48. I think it falls somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think probably if it goes over, there might be a couple of defensive touchdowns or a special teams touchdown or two, something like that.
Yeah. All right, Penn State and West Virginia, which I think is a huge game for Penn State. I don't think they can afford to lose this one. In Morgantown, which can be a tough place to play. Noon game, so maybe not as tough as a nighttime game, but still a tough environment for Penn State. They're favored by 7.5.
I like Penn State, and I like Penn State to cover. I'm not going to bet this game, though. What's the over-under on that?
49.5.
Give me the over on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the over bet on that.
Yeah, you could see some points scored here. Garrett Green's a really good quarterback for West Virginia. And Drew Aller, and look, I'm guilty of this too. I crapped on the guy too. If you take away the Michigan and the Ohio State game, he had an amazing season as a first-year starter. Yeah. He completed a ridiculous percentage of his passes. He had a bunch of touchdowns and hardly any interceptions. But the reality is, when you're looking at Penn State from year to year, everything revolves around what did you do against Michigan and Ohio State, and they couldn't even get a first down against those two teams. Well, West Virginia is a good team. They're not Michigan or Ohio State. So I think Penn State will score, and I love West Virginia's quarterback, Garrett Green. So I like the over in that one, too. I'm not betting the spread either. I'm basically like you said. I think Penn State will win the game, but I'm not betting the spread. But I do like the over there. I think we can see some points in that one. All right, at 3:30, Miami and Florida, an ACC, SEC matchup. Miami, one of the kind of co-favorites now to win the ACC, with Florida State catching an early loss. Miami and Clemson, the two popular picks to come out of the ACC now. Florida expected to finish in the bottom fourth of the SEC. Brutal schedule back half of the season. Seems like this is a game maybe that Florida needs to try to win, considering how tough the back end of their schedule might be. I don't think they can do it. I know I'm an SEC clown, homer, and all that everybody tells me. I don't see Florida. To me, the only benefit or advantage that Florida has here is the fact that it's a home game, and I just don't know that that's enough against Miami. I'm 2.5 points. I mean, I think Miami gets the job done.
Well, for those who listen to the Lunch Money Show on Monday, this was the Pigskin Pete Lock of the week. I actually bet Miami at 2.5 this morning, and I'm with you. I understand. I think the only reason it's 2.5 is because it is in the swamp. If it wasn't, it'd probably be closer to a touchdown. But I just feel like, despite the atmosphere there probably will still be a lot of Miami fans there. There are probably more Miami fans in the swamp than there is at a Miami home game.
Yeah. Nobody goes to those things. Yeah. There's other stuff to do. There's other stuff to do in Miami, Woo. Yeah, especially when the team is terrible. It's amazing. Whenever Miami's good, there's nothing to do in Miami. So they go to the game. Same thing with Southern Cal, by the way. Oh, there's a lot to do in L.A., Woo. Oh, yeah? Then how come whenever you're good, Snoop Dogg's on the sideline with Will Ferrell and you're sold out, but whenever you're bad, that's when there's other shit to do? Anyway, yeah. I like Miami.
Yeah, I think that this is the best Miami team on paper. We'll see what they look like today that they've had in a long time.
Here's the thing. Cam Ward, he turned the ball over a lot last year. If he gets in there and turns the ball over, especially early, Miami needs to try to get out to an early lead here. If Florida gets up 7-0 and the crowd stays in the game and maybe Cam Ward does have a turnover or something like that, this thing could get sketchy for Miami quick. But yeah, I like the Hurricanes. I like the Hurricanes in that one. And then prime time, the other sort of big game of the day, is, of course, Notre Dame on the road at Texas A&M, all brand new offensive line. I don't know how many times this week I've had people tell me, Notre Dame's got all brand new offensive linemen. Okay, great. They're a 3-point underdog on the road at Texas A&M. I'm taking Notre Dame here. I mean, people have been trying to talk me out of this pick for 6 months. I'm going with Notre Dame. They tell me Notre Dame's a playoff team. Everybody tells me that. There ain't no playoff team that can't beat Texas A&M. I don't care where it's played. I get it. It's a hostile environment. Mike Elko used to coach Riley Leonard. What did he fucking do? I don't get it. I'm taking Notre Dame to win the game outright. I don't even want the 3 points.
Yeah, I'm taking the points, but I already bet this game too. I did take Notre Dame as well. Too many question marks for A&M, new coaching staff. For a lot of the same reasons that I'm picking Miami to beat Florida, even though they're playing in Florida and even though they're playing in Texas A&M. Notre Dame's just got a better team right now, more continuity. And I really like Riley Leonard. I mean, I was on the receiving end of losing to him week 1 last year, so I know what it feels like. And I expect him to have a big game today. And Notre Dame, I think they'll win by more than the spread, by a touchdown or more.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. The over-under, 47, I could see this going a lot like the Notre Dame-Ohio State game from last year. Just kind of a slugfest back and forth, maybe a 17-10, 23-17 type of game. I like under 47. I don't think there's going to be many points scored here.
Yeah, I won't touch that over-under. You know I don't bet unders.
Yeah, and that's extremely low. For people that don't bet at all or maybe don't bet over-unders, 47 is one of the lowest over-unders you'll see in college football.
Especially for a Power 4 game. Yeah.
Now, of course, as I say that, the game right above it is at 45.5, but that's Fresno State, Michigan. So that's why. But if you look at a lot of these other over-unders, they're going to be in the 50s and 60s a lot of times. 47 is considered extremely low unless you're Iowa. I did talk about Iowa in the beginning of the show. The over-under, I think, was 40, Pete, in that game. Now, I know they've got the new offensive coordinator in that. Let me see if I can find it. Does the chat remember? Was it? I'm pretty sure it was 40. We looked earlier. It must be down here. I know they've got the new offensive coordinator, but I don't know how much that's going to mean in week 1. And yeah, they're playing a bad team, but I don't see it on here right now. But 10 of their 12 games, I think, last year went under the under. And do you remember the last 3 or 4 games of last season? The Iowa over-unders were in the 20s. Do you remember that? They were 27, 28, and we kept betting the under every week, and the final score of the games was 10-3 every fucking week. Yeah. I mean, it was an ATM machine. So, I don't know, 40 points? I mean, I might roll the dice there and take the under on 40. I don't know that they can have some sort of year 1 miracle with a new OC where now all of a sudden they're scoring 30 points a game. So I'll probably take the under in that Iowa game too, just because I'm on such a winning streak betting them on the under. But yeah.
Do they still have that same quarterback, Iowa, as last year?
You know what? I don't even know. I have no idea.
I think they do.
Maybe I should look into that before I put money on the game. But
that guy's awful.
Yeah.
That guy's terrible. He looks like he just got done eating 10 cheeseburgers and drinking a 12-pack of beer before the game.
What are you doing today? You going to be streaming any today?
Yeah, I'm streaming the Clemson and Georgia game at 12.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that sounds good. It's going to be a good one. Well, good luck to your Taters, man. Me and you, we'll be friends after the game either way. But let's hope for no injuries. Good game, and may the best team win.
All right, go Tigers in that.
All right, buddy. Thanks for coming on. There you go, Pigskin Pete. Make sure y'all check him out. He's uploads videos, does call-in shows, the whole deal. Pigskin Pete on YouTube. Make sure you check him out. Big shout out to Pigskin Pete for coming on the show today and helping us out. Today's celebrity guest picker, Pigskin Pete. Lizard Circus, thank you for the gifted memberships. Hunt Dog says, Lou, did Michigan win the Natty last year or no? I don't recall. I don't recall either. I don't recall. I'm not saying they didn't. I'm just saying I don't recall. Much like Connor Stallions, I don't recall. I don't recall. I had to say avocado toast. All right, we're caught up on the super chats. All right, we are going to do the rigged wheel now and attempt to give away some money. Let's see. Here we go. Let's do the rigged wheel. All right. Oh, wait a minute. That's not the rigged wheel. That's the Clemson Life program. Oops, I didn't mean to put that up. That was a mistake. Shout out to Huffer Billy Paul, though. He is a graduate of the Clemson Life program. That was a total accident mistake. I did not mean to do that. I did not mean to do that at all. I did not mean to do that at all. So it is what it is. Like I said, one of my best friends, Huffer Billy Paul, graduated from that program. So shout out to him. What are we doing? Rigged wheel. Yeah, that's right. Where is it? There it is. Here we go. Shout out to Huffer Billy Paul for real. All jokes aside, last week, week 0, was the first rigged wheel of the season. And the rigged wheel picked Huffer Billy Paul last week, and he won. I believe he took Georgia Tech in the points, if I remember right. Anyway, I know he won. I think that's the game he took. So shout out to you guys. You guys are 1 for 1 so far this year, in terms of picking your rigged wheel. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna start with the Cash App, and I'm gonna add everybody's name to the wheel from the Cash App. So you've literally got 1 or 2 minutes to get your name on the wheel, because once I'm done adding these names, I'm done adding these names. First name up today is going to be Carolina Jackpot. Shout out to Jackpot. His Gamecocks play Old Dominion today. Carolina Jackpot, thank you for helping to support the show, buddy. We've got Henry. Henry is going on the wheel. Thank you, Henry. Good to see you in here this morning. We've got Milkus Khan. Milkus Khan is a morning show legend. A lot of you aren't subscribed to my second channel, and you have no idea what you're missing out on. Milkus Khan is an absolute YouTube legend over on the morning show, which, of course, we do on the second channel, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday morning at 8 a.m. Yep. Sir UGA says, put me on the rigged wheel. Say less, fam. I got you. Thank you for supporting the show today. And Travis W. Travis W. is on the wheel. Thank you, Travis. I appreciate you helping to support the show today. All right, headed over to the PayPal. Let's see who else is going on the rigged wheel. It looks like Hogman. Hogman, thank you for supporting the show today. Got you on the wheel, Hogman. Zeus. Zeus is on the wheel. I just spelled Zeus wrong. I just realized it. I might fix it. I might not. This looks like Colby. I will fix it. I typed Zeus, Z-U-E-S, instead of Z-E-U-S. Don't worry about what I'm doing. I'm a professional. Highly trained idiot. I am a highly trained idiot. Mike N. He says he's excited to watch football today. Penn State, today, especially Penn State. Over the summer, I got to go to Penn State and even got to meet James Franklin. That's cool. That's cool, buddy. Swaggy Man. I think Swaggy Man has won the rigged wheel a few times in his day. We've got Joe DiMaggio. And yes, that is his real name. And yes, he is related to the Joe DiMaggio. We've had this conversation with him when he called in one time. He is a relative of the Joe DiMaggio and shares the same name. What we got here? Jeremy H. He likes Miami today. Smart man. Smart man. Anthony S. You on the road today, Anthony? He's a truck driver. He likes UJ in the points. All right. Joseph H. Got Joseph H on the wheel, which is good. Thank you, Joseph. I think this is Aggie Man, Charles M. I'm pretty sure that's Aggie Man in the comments. I could be wrong. If I am, I apologize. Charles M. We've got you on the wheel because why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we? It's a great question. Fact is, we would. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, last time over on the Cash App, and then we're closing it down. Zach T. Zach T's a Bama man. What's up, Zach T? Good to see you in here today, buddy. He likes Virginia Tech in the points. I like that, too. I like that one, too. Dylan N. says, for rigged wheel, question mark? Yes, Dylan N. I'm even going to put a question mark after your name since you put one. He says, for rigged wheel? with a question mark. So we'll put the question mark there for you too. So here you go. Look, everybody's name is on the wheel. There we go. Everybody see your name there? Just in the interest of fairness. Does everyone see your name? If you sent something in and you don't see your name, email me, crazyunclelou@gmail.com. Say, hey, Lou, I sent something in and my name wasn't on the wheel. First of all, I apologize if I missed your name. Second of all, I'll send your money back. But I think I got everybody. There. All right, so you know what we need? We need a number. And I am going to get Baylor. No, seems like Baylor man might have done it last week. RB Smata says, me, please. All right, since you said please, Smata. RB Smata, pick a number between 3 and 5. Pick a number between 3 and 5, RB Smata. In that. That's how many times we're going to spin the wheel. Smata says 4. All right, that means we're going to spin the wheel 4 times, and the fourth name will go ahead and be the winner. Okay? So we're looking for the fourth name. Good luck to everybody. Thank you for supporting the show this morning. We are looking for the fourth name. Mike N is the first name. That's all right, Mike. It could land on you again. I've seen it land on the same name 3 times in a row. I've been at the roulette table in Vegas and seen it hit the same number 3 times in a row. Made me mad, too, because I didn't bet the number either time. Dylan N is name number 2. Here comes spin number 3. We're looking for the fourth name today. Looks like Zeus. And by the way, I want you to notice that Zeus is spelled correctly because I fixed my mistake. All right, here's the fourth and final spin. This will be today's winner. So the winner will get their money sent back to them no matter what. And you will get to make a pick today on any game you want against the spread. And if you get that pick right, I will send you back twice your money. So if you sent 10, I'll send you 20. If you sent 20, I'll send you 40. That kind of deal. All right, here we go. Good luck to everybody. Today's winner on the wheel is, shout out to the rigged wheel, by the way. Looks like Charlie M, which I believe is Aggie Man. I think that's Aggie Man. Let me see. Did he list his pick? Sometimes people will list their pick when they send it in. Let me see if that's the case with our buddy Charlie M. If I can even find it, which I may or may not be able to. Here it is. Texas A&M. He likes Texas A&M -3. Let's write that down because I have a decent memory. But that's all it is decent, though. It's not perfect. Charlie M wants Texas A&M -3. And let's see. You sent that by PayPal, so that's how I will send it back. All right. That game is tonight at 7:30, so it'll be over around 10:30 or 11. If you get your pick right, I'm going to send you back twice what you sent me, Charlie. If you get your pick wrong, I'll just send you your money back. It's that simple. Does that make sense? That makes sense? It's easy. Huffer Billy Paul, tell him how easy it is. Huffer Billy Paul won the wheel last week, and he got his pick right. Lou, sorry, bro. I'm Charlie N. I didn't put my name in. Oh, I got you. Yeah, I write the name down as it appears on PayPal or Cash App so that when I have to send you the money back, I know who to send it to. So that's why. Yeah. But in the future, and this goes for anybody, when we're doing the rigged wheel, if you want me to put your YouTube name on the rigged wheel, make sure you put that in the note on PayPal or Cash App, because if you don't, then the only name I have to go by is the name associated with either your PayPal or your Cash App. So, but yeah, I got you down. So good luck. All right, that's going to do it for the kickoff show. Now, I'll be back on live at noon, probably around 11:45 or 11:50 over on the Patreon page. We're going to live stream all the noon games today over on the Patreon page. I put a poll up every week on Patreon on Monday, and I let the Patreon people vote. Do you want me to stream the noon games, the 3:30 games, or the primetime games? And whichever slot they vote on, that's the time slot that I stream on Patreon every week, and they voted for the 12 o'clock games today. So I'm going to take me about an hour break, drink another cup of coffee, or 4 more cups of coffee. I might get myself all worked up for this fucking Georgia Clemson game. I might come on here loud and wrong right at noon today. I might do that. I've done it before. I might do it again. So I'll be back on at 11:45, 11:50, something like that. The link will be posted on the Patreon page. So, and there's a link to the Patreon page in all my videos in the description. There's one in the description here. I'll even post it for you. I'll try to make life easy for you. What do I have it? I guess I don't. I thought I had the link to the Patreon page. Well, I'll get it real quick. Y'all make me do everything. Y'all make me do everything. There you go. All right. Copy, paste. All right, that's the link to the Patreon page. All you got to do is click that link. It'll take you to my Patreon page. If you're signed up over there at 11:45 or 11:50, you'll see the first post. I'll make a post over there about 11:45. It'll just be a link. You click that link, and it'll take you to the live stream. We'll hang out and watch all the noon games. Good luck to everybody's team today. Shout out to PB_betting again over on Twitter, especially if you're betting on these games. Y'all make sure you go check them out. Like, look, these are good guys. They're just like, they've been watching this channel for a long time. These are good people, and they love college football. They've been betting on games forever. They've been tracking their wins and losses for years, and they're completely open, honest, and upfront with you about how they do, not just on one particular game, but on a week-to-week and a year-over-year basis. So make sure you go check them out. They do a podcast every week. They've got a YouTube channel, the whole 9 yards. And when it comes to betting on these games, they're a whole lot smarter than I am about that kind of thing. So make sure you check them out, PB_betting over on Twitter. From their Twitter page, you can get to everything else they do, the podcast, their YouTube channel, their picks every week, the whole 9 yards. Make sure you go check them out. Again, this isn't some stranger. This is somebody that's been a part of this community for a long time, and they're getting their thing going with the betting podcast. Let's go help them out. Let's show them some love and some support. Go over to Twitter, give them a follow, check out their YouTube channel. In there, all you people that are always asking me to do a podcast, listen to this podcast. They're smarter than I am when it comes to this betting stuff anyway. So check them out, PB_betting over on Twitter. All right, I appreciate everybody tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed the show. I did. Shout out to Pigskin Pete for coming on as today's celebrity guest picker. What's the big games next week that I need to work on getting a celebrity guest picker for? What are the big games next week? Well, we got is Tennessee NC State next week? I think that's a week 2 game, right? So maybe we'll get a Tennessee guy on next week. What are some other big games in week 2? Texas, Michigan? Is that next week too? So we'll see if we can get a Tennessee guy on maybe for the Tennessee NC State game, and then maybe we can get a Michigan man. You think we can talk Biggs Mike into coming on? I wonder if we can talk Biggs Mike into coming on and giving us his celebrity picks for next Saturday. Wonder if we could talk him into doing that. Biggs Mike, you think you could be talked into doing that? We'll figure it out over the course of the week. All right, everybody. Enjoy your Saturday of college football. I'll be live almost all day. I'll be posting halftime reports and videos and post-game reactions and point and laughs and all that kind of stuff all day today. Make sure you stay tuned to the channel. It's going to be a great day of college football. Good luck to everybody's team, unless, of course, you happen to be a Clemson fan. Unfortunately, I need y'all to lose today. But for the rest of you, I hope all your teams win 100-0, which puts you one step closer to 100-0 and 14 national titles. All right. Enjoy your Saturday and have a good morning.